శ్రీరామ జయ రామ జయ జయ రామ శ్రీరామ జయ రామ జయ జయ రామ శ్రీరామ జయ
శ్రీరామ జయ రామ జయ జయ రామ ఓం 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 శ్రీరామ జయ రామ జయ జయ రామ ఓం
రామ 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 రామ
I beseech you to see to it that no pride or self-esteem enters my heart, no thirst for name and fame creeps into my mind. All the burden and responsibility that you have placed upon me are verily yours. Bless me so that I may carry on your work only as an instrument in your hands, and that I may offer all the fruits of work unto you. Guide me always in the right path. Think. O my Sadgurudev, God and Guru are one. You are verily the Lord of the universe, pulsating, activating and supporting everything. And it is you who has sent me over here to translate your message into reality. I am only carrying out your commands. I beseech you to see to it that no pride or self-esteem enters my heart, no thirst for name and fame, name or fame, creeps into my mind. All the burden and responsibility that you have placed upon me are verily yours. Bless me so that I may carry on your work only as an instrument in your hands, and that I may offer all the fruits of work unto you. Guide me always in the right path. The moment we read or hear this prayer, we suddenly look at ourselves. We all feel we are all devotees of God. We all feel we are all sadhakas. But unknowingly it is limited to a specified period. After that we are absolutely individual to ourselves. So this prayer really wakes us up. The first line is, you are verily the Lord of the universe, pulsating, activating, supporting everything. I've been thinking I am functioning as an individual, absolutely. Suddenly, when I feel my pulse, the pulse beat, the 70 beats in a minute, how does it come? Which is the basis of, which is the indication of my life, the presence of my life. And if that is not there, there won't be any activity. So pulsating, activating and supporting everything. The entire individual's activities are supported by the power. Suddenly I am drawn to this point. The Almighty Lord of the universe, because He is not visible, He is not palpable, He is not tangible, He is not an object, He is the power behind this very talk. So it is difficult. The mind has been always thinking in terms of an object. Never it has been trained on the subject. So this prayer, 4-line, definitely helps us. Hey, you are thinking now. How do you think? Because you exist. How do you exist? Your pulse beat, your heart beat. Are you doing anything? Suppose you order your pulse, stop now. After 5 minutes you can start. Will it obey? And that is the base for everything. So suddenly we become, at least intellectually, become aware of the presence of the superior power in us, the mysterious power in us. And then, it is you who has sent me over here to translate your message into reality. We have been hearing from Mahatmas and Shastras that every one of us, whether we know it or not, we have come here to discharge the duties assigned to us by the Almighty. That is why it's called worldly Leela. In Malayalam, the poem comes up, but many of you may not know. This we were taught when we were in schools. Narakyamangi Nattagaganamadi Jnanivar Alpangam. You have got a big drama troupe, and I am one among them. Veshamenikyandenu vidipadi vibhova vachittam. What sort of role I should play, that is decided by you. Vishwapriyamai nadanam cheyvadu videyena nrityam. I should act dexterously, efficiently, to please everybody in the audience. They should really enjoy. Veshamenikyandenu vidipadi vibhova vachittam. Vishwapriyamai nadanam cheyvadu videyena nrityam. And he says, that is the best part of it. Agame nilagunda adadu chuvadugal. You are the director. You have assigned me a role. And every time you are instructing me what should be the next step, what should be the dialogue, what should be the modulation, and what should be my physical language, body language. Everything you are guiding me, but I am unaware of it because you are not seeing. Behind the scene you are there, you are directing me, and I go along with that, but I fail to forget that you are directing me from within. And finally the poem ends, and that particular portion ends, not the poem ends. Atunnu kanman veligal thorannal. If by any chance I am blessed to know that you are giving me that instruction behind the scene, that is enough for me. Then I will make this life blissful, make my role successful, blissful, efficient. because the whole onus is on you. At the moment, though you have sent me from the green room, I forgot that I have come from the green room. I identified myself totally with the role assigned to me. With the result, I forget your presence, your guidance, your relevance. So that is being reminded through this small word. It is you who has sent me over here to translate your message into reality. I am only carrying out your commands. This should not be an empty formula, no? Then, just like Gandhiji said. So every now and then prayers like this, suppose we render on a one-to-one basis, it will keep us on check. The moment the arrogating tendency wells up, it can be immediately plugged by this. Hey, wait, what are you talking? What are you thinking? You have anything with you? Papa used to say, nothing belongs to you. Everything belongs to him. You have not brought anything when you came. Everything has been provided to you. All these things we forget. At the time of satsang we remember, that's all. I beseech you to see to it that no pride or self-esteem enters my heart. Because when I am on the road, when I do dexterously, when I handle that particular role, there will be applause from the audience. I may feel elated. No? When continuous applause comes, I know I have done well. No? But let it not come. Had you not given the intelligence, had you not given the role first, the field first, and the intelligence, I would not have been able to play. Just to think about it. Wherever suppose we are appreciated, wherever people applaud us, just close for a moment. Did you create that field? Suddenly we realize that the field has been created by factors other than us. And the very intelligence which handles it. Just think. How can I arrogate? So no pride or self-esteem enters my heart. It will enter our heart. So immediately this prayer, that is the purpose of this prayer. Why it has been worded like that? The great soul who drafted this, they must have definitely been seeing. They must have gone through such struggle. They must have been seeing. So every now and then, suppose we keep on hammering this prayer, you would have, as soon when you enter Puja Swamiji's room, it is always there. No thirst for name or fame creeps into my mind. This is another greatest, cravings he develops, unknowingly. Name and fame. Whenever we handle anything, they will, anybody with all their goodness, not that they wanted to boost our ego, as a part of their love for us, they may. But immediately, we should remember Puja Swamiji's words. I pass it on to Papa. I pass it on to him. Very difficult. Everything we can pass on, not this. But what is due? If God is not there, I am not there, that I have to keep on hammering this, then only this will come to us. At this point, we thought, Gandhiji has also made a mention about, though God cannot be defined, he has also tried his level best to bring it out. We'll just read it out. Some points are there. God is certainly one. He has no second. He is unfathomable, unknowable, unknown to the vast majority of mankind. He is everywhere. He sees without eyes, hears without ears. He is formless and indivisible. He is uncreate, has no father, mother or child, and yet he allows himself to be worshipped as father, mother, wife and child. He allows himself even to be worshipped as stock and stone, although he is none of these things. He is the most elusive. He is the nearest to us, if we would but know the fact. But he is farthest from us when we do not want to realize his omnipresence. God is not some person outside ourselves or away from the universe. He pervades everything and is omniscient as well as omnipotent. He does not need any praise or petitions. Being immanent in all beings, he hears everything, reads out our innermost thoughts. He abides in our heart, is nearer to us than the nails on our fingers. He abides in our hearts and is nearer to us than the nails on our fingers. God is then not a person. He is the all-pervading, all-powerful Spirit. Anyone who hears Him in his heart has accession of a marvelous force or energy, comparable in its results to physical forces like steam or electricity, but much more subtle. There is an indefinable, mysterious power that pervades everything. I feel it, though I don't see it. It is this unseen power which makes itself felt and yet defies all proof, because it is so unlike all that I perceive through my senses. It transcends the senses.
Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jaya Rama.
O Arjuna, Echavi Sarvabhutanam Bijam Tada Aham. All the things of the world have as their seed myself, the ultimate reality. Sri Krishna is speaking, identifying himself with the ultimate reality of pure consciousness, infinite and non-dual. So, whatever there is in this world has its origin in the ultimate reality of pure consciousness. I am that seed of everything in the world. I am that. There is nothing in this world, whether moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. Na tadasti vina yasyat maya bhudam characharam. Take away my being from anything in the world and it becomes non-existent. I give the value of existence to it. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of zero. It has no value even if you put 20,000 zeros. But put a 1 before the zero, and every zero gets value. Every new zero adds to the value rather. That the I, that one is the divine. Among the changing things of the world, there is one that is real. The one, the infinite, the immortal, that makes them real. Take that away, they become unreal. Take away my being from anything, and it becomes non-existent. The first line of the prayer. You are verily the Lord of the universe, pulsating, activating, supporting everything. Shankaracharya refers to it in his Upanishad commentary. Take away the Atman from the universe becomes absolutely a zero, with no value at all. That is what the Gita is stressing. Put the one behind the many, then the many get a value, otherwise they have no value. This is spiritual understanding, spiritual vision. So this is an important teaching, that whatever is really is Brahman. So there is a classification in Vedanta. Everything in the universe consists of 5 factors. It's a very important Vedantic study. What are the 5 factors? Sat, Chit, Ananda, the first 3. Truth or being, consciousness and bliss. The 3 plus 2 more, name and form. Nama Rupa. These all things in the world are composed of all these 5 items. Nama, Rupa and Satchit Ananda. Beingness, consciousness and bliss. The sense of beingness. The amness, no? In English, conjugation of verb we say as present continuous. The easeness or the amness, the beingness. So it's difficult, it is easy for us to, I am. Where is that I am? How do you know that you are there? The beingness, existence, which is represented by the word Sat. Gandhiji says Satyam has come from that Sat only. Chit stands for the consciousness absolute. And bliss, let us see what Swamiji says. It is one and the same. But Namarupa is different. Take away the name and form, what remains? Only Brahman. These Vedantic ideas influenced some of the Western poets in the last century, and there you find, therefore, a British poet like Shelley expressing this truth. The one remains, the many change and pass. And this is the teaching. We have to put one behind the many. There is a verse from our Upanishadic literature in the Isha Upanishad. The first words in it emphasize this truth. Ishavashyamidam sarvam. The entire manifested universe is nothing but the divine. The infinite, pure consciousness. What modern astrophysics calls the background material, which exploded and made for the evolution of the universe, Vedanta calls it as the infinite pure consciousness. C capital. Not conscious of, consciousness itself. One and non-dual. That exploded and became the universe. Therefore, that consciousness is there in nature and it is manifest in living beings. It is more manifested in the human being. And men and women can also discover the truth in themselves and in others. The idea within the universe and beyond the universe comes a little later. in the verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. An elephant was caught by a crocodile. He was suffering terribly, and he praised the divine by offering to the Lord a lotus from the pool he was in. And the Lord came and saved that elephant. That is the mythical story in the Bhagavatam. It is well known as the myth of Gajendra Moksha, salvation of the lordly elephant. I have seen it depicted very beautifully in art in Cambodia and Indonesia. There the elephant praises the divine. And one sloga in that hymn is very famous. I take refuge in the self-existing reality. That is the first description. Then the next is a series of utterances regarding the nature of that reality.
Rama 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 Janaki.
But if it is God-centered, yes. Out of ignorance, they may do something. They will definitely accommodate us. So we should know they have sent us here to translate their message into reality. Though all gurus are one, still just like we exist as separate individual, we also need different approaches. So different God, one guru has manifested as different gurus, and we apparently follow one guru. Though all gurus are one, all teachings are ultimately one. Apparently it may be different. So we can say Papa has drawn us here, no? So then when Papa has drawn us, it is Papa's job we are doing, It is Papa's mission. We have no individual life, individual mission. It's only Papa's mission. And the moment I start bringing this idea into my mind, how can there be anything called me and mine? The first chapter of Thus Speaks Ramdas. First chapter. He will say that microcosm is the macrocosm, individual is the universal. So we can never afford to think as Papa's devotees. We cannot even for fun's sake think about me and mine. So because of my habituation, because of my impurity, when such thoughts come, immediately, I must be able to brush it aside with the help of these thoughts of prayer. Somebody asked yesterday, what exactly is prayer? Prayer, Papa has clearly mentioned it. It is the one that connects me with Him. It's a channel from one river is going, you make a channel and it comes to a pit, the water comes there. So we are the pit. There should be a channel for godliness to come. So the prayer is that channel making. So you have sent me here to translate your message into reality.
Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama 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 Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama.
In 2003, when Swamiji made some notes. Majority of the contents were brought out at the time of the centenary celebration. A commemorative satsang at that time, we brought out a small booklet. There the contents have been brought. Not all. So there he says, people used to praise. He did not use the word praise. People said, when we see you, we see Papa Mataji. He says, where are Papa Mataji, where am I? They are like mountains and I am pebble. And then when somebody says, I treat it in two ways. That is the uniqueness of Swamiji. He says it is because of the purity of their heart, and as far as they are concerned, and it is a test on me. Not blaming on them, it is because of their purity they are seeing. When they become pure, they see the purity in others, as far as they are concerned. For me as a sadhaka, God is testing me through those words.
Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama.
There nobody is there to tell us this fact. Even though they tell us, we may not realize, but still, at least somebody is telling us. Through some programs we are reminded. All the burden and responsibility that you have placed upon me are verily yours. So I don't have to feel dejected or dispirited or get elated. You gave me a wonderful opportunity and responsibility. So for all, whether it is plus or minus, we try to bring him into the picture. Let us, that Shumaidangi, the one which bears our burden. And now suddenly we remember that. Even when you go to some villages in Tamil Nadu, we can see still they keep it there. In Kerala it is very rare, we have not seen much. I think in Karnataka also it is there. They have not removed it at least. Though there are nobody now carrying any luggage on their head, because at that time there was nothing excepting probably the bullock cart. So every now and then we need some support to unburden ourselves, ease ourselves, and then again put it back and then move. So the remembrance of God, that will release our tension, that will lessen the burden, that will lessen the impact of our responsibility.